Libra, hello, welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for December 2025. We're going to go ahead and take a look at any challenges headed your way, as well as any opportunities that you should keep an eye out for. We're also going to be taking a look at what you should be releasing as you head into December and what you should be embracing in this month ahead, okay? First of all, I can't believe it's the end of the year. It's insane. Every time I say it, I just can't believe it. But if you're a planner like me, or you just want to get a nice head start or a good snapshot of what 2026 will look like for you, I am opening my calendar for some 12-month overviews. The sessions will be one-on-one. They will take about an hour to an hour and a half to go through, and it'll just give you an idea of what 2026 has in store for you. If that's something you're interested in, Libra, just shoot me an email. My email is linked in the description below, and we can make that happen for you, okay? Cards have been pre-shuffled. As you know, these are general readings, so if you feel the message is meant for you, it is. If you feel you need to reverse it, use your best judgment, okay? And if you're not finding yourself in here whatsoever, just take a look at your other placements. You'll find yourself in there, okay? Let's go ahead and see what... Alrighty. Okay. Here. Okay. Challenge here, the Tower. So yeah, some sort of change. I feel like you're a little bit reluctant to embrace this Tower, or maybe for some of you in a little bit of denial as this Tower comes about here for you. I just feel like you're unmoved by really anything, like you're trying to stay where you are, okay? And that Tower, of course we're going to clarify, but it feels like you really don't want this Tower to come in and do what it's doing. With that 10 of Wands as the opportunity, yeah, you know, definitely these two are connected here. An opportunity to put something to an end. It feels that you've been long carrying, right? And perhaps that's something you don't want to let go of, right? And that's why you're kind of dragging your heels on this. But of course, we will see as we clarify here what you should be releasing. 8 of Pentacles. So releasing that 8 of Pentacles and embracing that High Priestess intuitive energy here. 8 of Pentacles, I mean, that could speak on a lot, right? But focusing on work, or more so I feel the practical, and then, you know, in terms of what you should be embracing here, your intuition, this idea that not everything needs to be seen to be known, right? 3 of Wands in the shadow, that 3 of Cups, and that 4 of Swords, and that 3 of Pentacles here. So you've got every suit in your shadow here, which is really quite lovely. I'm just going to check the Rider-Waite to see what 3 threes mean. Let's see. 3 threes. Unity. Interesting. Perhaps that's what this opportunity is trying to bring forth here for you, is some unity, right? Some cohesiveness for yourself. This idea of being aligned is what I'm getting for you as well, Libra, okay? And then, of course, the King of Swords underneath that, that is you as your best self there, which is nice to see. It feels like, despite being hesitant to whatever this Tower energy is, it does feel like it's necessary. Okay, let's go ahead and get some clarifiers for that Tower energy, please, for Libra. Thank you. Show me that 10 of Wands as the opportunities for Libra, please. Show me that 10 of Wands as the opportunities for Libra. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Show me that Eight of Pentacles as what Libra should be releasing in December, please. Okay. That's nice. And show me finally that High Priestess as what Libra should be embracing. Wow. Speedy, speedy. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. How funny is that? Okay, so we have the Empress in your shadow for your clarifiers here. In the shadow for your clarifiers here, we have the Empress, we have the High Priestess, right? In terms of what you should be embracing. That Five of Pentacles, that Three of Wands, which is hopped from shadow to shadow. Hanged Man, Five of Wands. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, there's definitely this idea here of embracing that feminine energy here. The soft side of leadership, the soft side of knowing, right? But not asserting, just knowing is enough. And just even embracing that I don't have to have factual data to support how I feel or what I know to be true inside of me, right? And that kind of idea that we might be taking the road less traveled. We might face some challenges, but we're aligned, right? There's feeling behind where you're going and what you're doing. And so it almost doesn't matter if it's the road less traveled because it's your road, Libra. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there in that, shadow for the clarifiers here. Coming into that tower, we have that clarified by the Ace of Wands, Nine of Wands in reverse, and that Three of Swords in the reverse as well. So this is actually really lovely, right? If you allow this opportunity to come through, it really is, it's almost like this tower is really trying to unseat you here, and make it so that whatever kind of fatigue and hurt and all of that you've been experiencing around this dynamic, this situation here. This tower is really, it does feel like it's trying to shake that loose. I'm just wondering if there's an unwillingness to let that happen, right? As I mentioned on the outset, Libra, it just feels like you're not, you want to hold, like, I'm surprised I'm not seeing the Four of Pentacles here because it feels like we want to hold on to what we have or stay where we are, right? Even though where we are is really not the best place for us, right? But that tower is tower for good, right? With that Ace of Wands, we want to release this. We want to expel this energy here. Because it does seem like there's, fatigue, there's heartache, things aren't really going your way as it relates to this situation here. Heading into that Ten of Wands, in terms of the opportunities headed your way in December, we do have that Devil energy, Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ace of Swords. So yeah, it just feels like there's some sort of block here with that Devil, that doesn't want you to release this, right? And I'm wondering if you're holding on to this or if some situation, dynamic, some person has their hooks in you, or if you have your hooks in them, right? And you're it's become this thing where you can't like it's a part of your day to day, right? And so it's ingrained in your routine, in your lifestyle, in what you're doing, that you just it's hard to give up, right? Despite the universe and despite this tower coming through and wanting to kick that double energy out, right? It does feel like, yeah, with this 10 of wands and that 10 of swords, it feels difficult. It feels like you perhaps, like I said, don't want this end. But there is an opportunity here for that ace of swords, right? Your air, that ace of swords is on its side. It's almost like you're unsure if you're willing to let this go or not, right? So this tower is coming no matter what, and it's an opportunity to release this, is what I'm seeing. But I'm not sure, and I don't think you're sure, or you haven't decided if you want to give this up yet or not, if you want to have this end yet or not, despite spirit saying it's time for this to end, right? Kind of in every way here. And so ace of swords, you haven't decided yet, right? And that's why I kind of feel like I'm seeing your ace of your suit on the side. Perhaps even despite you knowing on a rational level that this isn't good for me, right? Interesting. Moving to that 8 of Pentacles here, we have that clarified by the Page of Cups on its side, Temperance in the reverse, 6 of Wands, and the Sun. So releasing here, perhaps there's some aspect of this where you're working too hard, Libra, or you're caught up in something that has kind of absorbed you, right? You're now tunnel vision a little bit, and so that balance is off. Oh, my hand is it. Perhaps it's even a very profitable place for you to be, with my hand itching there. And so the money is what's keeping us there, despite us knowing that it's not beneficial in any other way. That could be it. I just realized how bright the screen was, so I apologize. Coming back to this, there's no balance there, and it could be there's no work-life balance. You've been diving into working on your pentacles for so long, that you can't really, like, you've been grinding, and so you've been neglecting other aspects of yourself, right? And this is an opportunity to release that energy, to pick your head up a little bit and move on, really. And if you're not in a position to do so, extend some boundaries at the very least, right? And, with that 6 of Wands, there is some success in that if you do release this, right? And with the Sun as well, just that clarity, right? Page of Cups on its side, I'm a little like, I'm wondering if this page is a gift to you, like something will happen that will show or demonstrate how out of balance this aspect of your life is, Libra. Person, place, thing, comment, even. I'm wondering if there's a comment that said, somebody says something and perks your ears up and you realize, wow, I'm living to work, basically. Right? But again, it just feels like there's this, you're not yet convinced that or maybe it's that you're not yet ready to move on from this, right? Despite Spirit coming through and presenting this tower and kind of showcasing or highlighting all the ways that this is not necessarily working out in your benefit anymore. It still feels like there's some hesitation there, right? And this could even be the Six of Wands and the Sun. It could even be that realization that you're not ready, or the realization that you need to take smaller steps in order to kind of pull yourself back from whatever you've been working so hard on, whatever's been really dominating your time here, and do that maybe in baby steps to start to see the bigger picture, right? Interesting here. Heading over to that High Priestess energy in terms of what you should be embracing. That Two of Cups, King of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, honestly, again, it just feels like equal opportunity. Only giving what you can afford to give. And trusting that that's enough, trusting in yourself that it's going to be okay, that you've done enough, that you are enough, right? Not over giving to this particular situation, but meeting whoever or whatever in the middle here. Boundaries. Boundaries seem to be something. I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, it almost feels like... do we have to line something else up before we can move away from this? And I'm wondering if that's the kind of decision that you'll come to at the end of April, or at the end of April, maybe at the end of April, but at the end of December, you'll come to the decision perhaps that you need to take small steps to get ready, to open your energy, to move on from whatever this dynamic is. And maybe April, as it slipped, maybe April is the time that this loop will fully be closed, right? Very interesting reading here, Libra. And I will just say as well, a lot of the signs for December there's a lot of introspection happening as we bring this year to a close. And it feels like you're no different here. But I do feel you hesitant to looking at this or seeing it for what it is. I feel that you're trying to force a situation, right? And using force instead of either just letting the situation be or like backing off from the situation a bit, right? We're trying to drive this point home. But if we step away even for like 5 minutes and then come back to this, it's almost like, well, will you have a different perspective? Will certain things work a little bit better after you've taken a minute away from this, right? I'm just wondering if you're just every day keeping the cycle going here when it's starting to become, it feels, Libra, for you more and more obvious that this loop is in need of changing, right? Or in need of closing. And that's not to say that, we should abandon this completely. I don't think you're necessarily ready for that, but how do we take steps to start changing this dynamic here, or this situation? Okay. Let's go ahead and get some final thoughts for Libra. Yeah. Wow. We're just going to put that right there. I changed my setup a little bit, and so I feel like a little bit better. Okay. So for the challenges here, death, and that makes total sense, right? It's almost like Spirit is urging you to change, Libra, and make some pivotal changes. And there is a resistance to that, is what I'm seeing here. With these clouds, right? I'm feeling like you're caught in a storm, or maybe even the eye of the storm, where you're not ready to move. And things almost have to get worse before you decide that you need to make them better. Okay. Knight of Swords here. So, right. It does feel like with this Knight of Swords, right, he's dragging through this Ten of Swords on the clarifiers here for that Ten of Wands. And it feels like that is just accentuating the period here, this Knight of Swords. The change is coming no matter what. And it feels like on some level you understand this, but you're not ready for it yet. Perhaps by the end of the year, as I said, you will be, in terms of how do we take measurable action, or at least start to take that action to change this situation or this dynamic here. This does also feel like Spirit kind of saying this change is coming no matter what. This ending is happening. It needs to happen. Just a reminder to you, Leo, it needs to happen. We've been pushing this for some time, it feels, and it's time to face this head on, is kind of what I'm seeing here for you. The World, in terms of summing up what you should be releasing, yeah, closing the loop on this pattern, right? And hopefully by the end of the month, like I said, you will figure out what that looks like for you. But whatever this is here, we're dealing in a major loop, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense. Nine of Swords here is what you should be embracing. With the intuition thing, it doesn't feel like that's out of reach for you, but I'm wondering what is holding you back from that. And I'm wondering if if you think that you're being selfish, by doing what you need to do for you. I'm wondering if this situation has been going on for so long that it's like it carries a great weight here, or if it's just kind of uncomfy, right? Fully addressing and coming to terms with, pulling back a little bit, right? Seven of Swords in the shadow here, Four of Swords and the Sun, Eight of Swords, yeah, Seven of Wands. It's heavy. What we're talking about here, Libra, it definitely is heavy, and it feels like it's something that's been kind of going on for an extended period of time here, or at least it's been on your mind for some time, whether you felt like addressing it or not, right? And somebody might be manipulating you, somebody might be encouraging this to continue, despite you despite you thinking that maybe it's not worth your time. Somebody's in here kind of in your ear, kind of convincing you that it is, and that it is for your benefit. And it feels like that aspect of it, we're coming to some clarity, right? With that Sun showing up, we're coming to some clarity, and the clarity is that some loops need to be closed. Okay, Libra, let's get some final thoughts for you here. You don't need someone else to fix you. Maybe this is an internal battle for you, Libra. And that's why it's so hard to do it. maybe there's shame around whether you're worthwhile, right? Sword, make the change. Yeah, make the change. Feast, slow down and celebrate yourself. Yeah, this might be a highly personal lesson for you, and that's kind of why you're so resistant here. And that devil is perhaps, you know, your shadow side here, and just that kind of negative talk that we get into. And, you know, perhaps it's been so ingrained in your mind that you don't really know how to remove that from and break that down, right? And start to identify how we go about fixing that, right? Mural, be your own first priority for sure. And that's not selfish. That's just, you know, taking care of yourself and doing what you need to do to make sure you're on the best road for you, right? Libra, that's what I have for you. You know, I wish you all the best. I'm thinking of you today and always. Know that I'm here with you always, okay? And I so appreciate you coming here and taking the time to see what December has in store for you. I wish you all the very best, and we'll see you next time. You take care.